So Bex, there's so many 50s around, but there's only one which is the best, which is 51.2.
This one.
However, Voigtlander just came out with 50f1.
The new kid on the block. So we're going to test out the 50f1 and compare it to the Z 51.2 and see which one is better, sharper, which one gives you that character, which one's more convenient, all the things.
We tell you everything. So stay tuned. We'll see you in half an hour.
I already know which one I prefer. Regular viewers of our channel will know that I absolutely adore the 51.2. It's a lens that I see myself using for events, weddings, pretty much anything that one can throw at it, even some flowers. But it is really, really heavy and bulky. It has the benefit of autofocus, but I am intrigued to see what the Voigtlander 50f1 does that this one doesn't do, or vice versa. All right, I'm looking for a starburst here. F11, ooh, get the angle. There we go. Oh, look at that little starburst. Isn't that pretty? I wonder what it's going to look like on the Voigtlander. Should I try it?
Yeah.
Come on then. All right, now I've got the Voigtlander lens. Let's see what it does. F11. Let's angle it right. Ooh, you can see it already.
Yeah, it does some good stars.
It does. It does some nice stars. The Nikon has more points to its stars, but both produce really nice starbursts, which I'm pleased about. The Voigtlander one is maybe a little more fluffy.
Is it because of the diaphragms, the amount of blades?
I assume so. It is hard to nail focus when doing portraits.
Yeah, do you zoom in to 100% to confirm?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
You gotta do this when you shoot wide open, isn't it?
You got to do that. You have to have a really patient subject as well.
That's true. So probably not for kids or dog.
No. Obviously, if you're not going to shoot wide open, it's fine. You know, if you're shooting at 2.8, let's say, or f2, your whole face is going to be in focus. It's no issue. But if I'm going f1 and then comparing it with f1.2, it is a struggle. I'm going to see what it looks like on the 51.2 now, the Z.
Which has autofocus.
It's going to make my life so much easier. So now I put on the 51.2, I'm going to shoot at 1.2 because obviously it doesn't have f1, and I'm going to see which of the two looks sharper for portraits. The Voigtlander was definitely better at 1.2 than it was at f1 in terms of sharpness. Obviously your depth of field is very, very tiny, so I have to bear that in mind as well. I'm looking for tips of eyelashes here. The process is definitely faster with the autofocus lens. I can 100% guarantee that if you don't have patience for manual focus, then that's going to be a problem for you.
Yeah, shall I do the flowers?
You should. Did you find some flowers, Con?
You know my passion. You know me, Becky.
I do. Gotta love those flowers.
I mean, like, tell me, whoever read it as Lionel Messi is my friend.
We've just done some portraits with the two lenses. So what are your initial impressions?
Well, initial impression, you can clearly see which shot is taken with which lens. So the Voigtlander lens, in my opinion, renders better, and the images out of the box have this particular kind of 3D pop where it kind of brings you to the center of the image by darkening the corners, so vignetting and a bit of barrel distortion, but it also makes the image pretty much ready to go without any adjustment. The Nikon one, however, looks a little bit flatter, but it was much faster to take. All I have to do is just press those focus button, it's there, I take the shot. With the Voigtlander, I had to zoom in to 100% to confirm the focus on eyeballs, effectively, you know, and then double check and then take the shot. So, as Becky said, you have to be patient with this, but I prefer the rendering of the images from the Voigtlander lens, and it's not to do with the sharpness or anything, but just the way the images look out of the box. So Bax, we've just been inside and you've been taking pictures with the Voigtlander. Tell me how difficult it is to focus wide open at f1 in low light conditions.
Obviously, it's harder than autofocusing wide open at 1.2 on the Nikon. If you do what we do, which is check your focus before you take a picture, it takes an extra couple of seconds. Low light does make it harder because it's also difficult to see what you're focusing on, but I wouldn't say that it's a deal breaker in any way. And really, these lenses shine in low light because you've got all that light coming into the lens. Okay, you're not going to shoot f1 necessarily because your depth of field is going to be so shallow, but they really do excel in those scenarios. So I'd be interested to see how it works for something like astrophotography as well.
And this footage is taken with 51.2 Nikon lens at 1.2.
Is it dreamy?
Very.
Oh, well, there you go. And for all our Star Wars fans out there, this is Magnolia Star Wars, and you did read that right. Do, 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 do.
All right, Becky, talk to me about close focusing capabilities.
Okay, it's the same on both lenses. It's 45 centimeters. Now, obviously, harder with this lens. If you stop it down to about f1.4, 1.8, you can rely on the green focus confirmation on the back and be fairly confident that it's in focus. If you're going to shoot wide open, don't try that. But if you're trying to do close-up details as well as subjects that are far away, you've got this nice, not even half a meter close focusing distance for both lenses, which is great.
Fantastic.
I'm pointing like this because you've got the 51.2 on there.
Yes.
Does it look amazing?
It's so fluffy and wonderful.
I love it. So here we are, smelling the camellias. So tell me.
Very romantic.
So tell me your impressions, sharpness-wise, between these two lenses.
51.2 is no doubt sharper wide open at 1.2 compared to the Voigtlander, and Voigtlander gets the sharpness about 1.4. Now, it doesn't mean that the images look bad. Obviously, the rendering of the Voigtlander is really good, and the images look sharp enough, but compared with Nikon equivalent, Nikon is definitely sharper.
There you go, and this was filmed with the Voigtlander at f4.
Let's talk about vignetting a little bit. Now, 51.2 out of the box has much less vignetting compared to Voigtlander. Now, Voigtlander lenses have this bucket loads of vignetting on all of them, and I think it's to do with the character of the lens more than anything else. And this one will disappear at about 5.6. Now, Nikon lens, 2.8, the vignetting is absent, and it's very little wide open anyway. So if vignetting is a big part of your shooting, then maybe get this one if you want a lot of it. If you don't want it, get the Nikon one.
Now, one thing to bear in mind with these lenses is that the 51.2 weighs 1,090 grams, which is basically 1.1 kilos, while the Voigtlander, or Voigtlander, weighs 598 grams, so it's almost half the weight. That's quite a significant difference. So if you don't like heavy lenses and you don't want to carry something big and bulky like this around, that may sway it for you. The other thing to bear in mind is that this one has 9 aperture blades, while the Voigtlander has 12 aperture blades, which gives you a very different rendering of your bokeh.
Ooh.
Dreamy. If you're a professional photographer or you do a lot of commercial photography, I honestly think that the 51.2 is the way to go. It's a bit more expensive, it's heavier, but you already go into those shoots knowing that you're going to be carrying relatively heavy equipment, and you want something that is going to focus nice and fast, that's going to give you super sharp shots wide open, and honestly, you can't go wrong with this one at all.
My heart, though, tells me that the rendering of this lens is very, very special, and the images it produces, in my opinion, from a feeling point of view, look better, and they're ready to be, to be posted anywhere you like on your social medias, your portfolios, etc., without too much adjustment. While with this one, because the image looks a little bit flatter, will require a bit of post-processing.
I agree with you on that. In the last few days, we've had this lens and we've been able to shoot with it in various different scenarios, from Borough Market and around town to the British countryside. the rendering of this lens is really, really gorgeous. And I can't deny that if I were going to do just portrait shots and if the subject was nice and still or had a lot of patience, this would be my actual personal choice. It's also half the weight and size, which really makes a difference. So if it's for personal work or you know those caveats going in, then definitely consider the Voigtlander. It's also about, what, £600–700 cheaper?
Yeah.
And there you have it. We hope you found this video useful. Tell us what you think in the comments below, whether you've got one of these lenses or you're planning to get one. We'd be very interested. If you do need one, you can buy both from Grays of Westminster.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and there's a super thanks button as well if you did find this video super useful and you're super grateful to us. Becky is
now.
suffering because she was carrying this lens the whole day.
Yeah, it was hard work. It's a heavy lens. It's not to be denied.